Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be going over the best trade values from every NBA lottery team that they could hear on draft night. So before I start, I'm new to YouTube, so if you could please give a like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. Try and help the channel grow. I'll be talking about NBA, anything else that you guys want me to discuss, go over, let me know in the comments section below. All right, now let's get straight into it with the Timberwolves receiving Victor Oladipo and Aaron Holiday for James Johnson, Jared Culver, and the #1 pick. If I'm the Timberwolves, I am not doing that. I'm not giving up on Jared Culver and the #1 pick for Victor Oladipo, who just come off a major injury to his knee. Didn't look that hot in the bubble to begin with, and he's probably on his way out of Indiana anyway. So are you really going to give up Jared Culver, who was drafted like #4 last year, and the #1 pick, who you could use on Anthony Edwards a lot younger, for someone that's only going to be there for half a season most? That's a bad trade. For the Pacers, I would do that in a heartbeat. That's A+ for me. I'm getting the #1 pick, young prospect to replace Victor Oladipo and Jared Culver. And I can use the #1 pick or Anthony Edwards or Denny. I'm doing that. To the next one, the Warriors receive Mitchell Robinson and the #8 pick for the #2 pick. It's a horrible trade for the Warriors. I don't see all the hype around Mitchell Robinson. He's just an athletic shot blocker, has absolutely no offense. I mean, he's just Rudy Gobert pretty much. And you're giving up the #2 pick, who probably not going to draft anyone unless you're going to draft James Wiseman, but you don't really need that sort of center when you've gotten along with Bogut, JaVale McGee, Marquise Chris, who can actually shoot the ball. Unlike Mitchell Robinson, who's going to be a liability on offense, you're pretty much going to be playing 4 on 5. So I'm not doing that if I'm the Warriors. For the Knicks, I mean, yeah, if you really want LaMelo Ball that badly, but you really want the attention that comes with that family name. But it is New York, so New York does everything stupid. So the Knicks, yeah, good trade for them. A+ for the Knicks. On to the next one, the Charlotte Hornets receive Buddy Hield in exchange for Nicholas Batum, Malik Monk, and the #32 pick. Right, for the Hornets, I assume if they do that, they're going to trade either Terry Rozier or Devontae Graham, because it doesn't make sense having 3 guards and only 2 spots and 1 ball. For the Kings, for the Hornets, sorry, I'd probably trade Devontae Graham. I feel like you get a bit more trade value out of him. Bigger, not as big as Terry Rozier, so it's going to be undersized. And for the Kings, I don't know why you want Nicholas Batum. I mean, he's only got 1 year left on his deal. He might be able to help you off the bench with Harrison Barnes there, playing behind Harrison Barnes. Malik Monk, again, needs a change of scenery from the Charlotte Hornets. But again, we'll be going back to a backup role behind Bogdanovich. So it's not that bad of a trade, but depends if the Kings are trying to go all in for the playoffs or just try and develop their young talent. It says here, no matter whom the Hornets target with the #3 pick, well, you don't know who's going to be available with the #3 pick. Like the Charlotte Hornets, James Wiseman could be off the board, so they could go and try and sign Montrezl Harrell to fill that center role. Who knows what they could do with that #3 pick? But then again, you're going to have to give up money for Buddy Hield, who just inked $94 million extension. That's a lot of money for Buddy Hield, especially in a small town like Charlotte. Is that really going to get you closer to a championship, Buddy Hield? I don't think so. All right, on to my Chicago Bulls. We're receiving DeMar DeRozan. Hell no, I already know Hell no. And Paddy Mills, we don't need another guard. We've already got 15 in exchange for Otto Porter, Chandler Hutchinson, and the number 44 pick. Sorry. On the Bulls, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving up 2 forwards for 2 guards. I'm going to have no forwards. We'll end up playing Zach LaVine at the number 3, and that's not his natural position. Like, he's a 2 guard. Defensive wise, you're going to put him up against, say, like the best small forwards like Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James. He'll just get destroyed. I'd rather have Otto Porter. When healthy last year, was playing not bad. I mean, he's not playing number 3 pick material, but I'm not giving up all that and a pick for half a season or 1 year of DeMar DeRozan. If it was Toronto Raptors, DeMar DeRozan maybe, but no. Then the next one, Cleveland Cavaliers are going to receive Harrison Barnes, Jabari Parker, and the number 35 pick for Kevin Love. I feel like that's a bad trade for Cleveland. You can get a lot more for Kevin Love. I mean, it doesn't really move the needle at all. Like, that doesn't make you a better team. For the Kings, I'd do it. Good spacing along with Bagley and Bogdanovich and De'Aaron Fox. I mean, that by this move, they're trying to make the playoffs. And you're not exactly saving money because Harrison Barnes is still owed $61 million for the next 3 years. So you're just capping yourself out. That's a bad trade for both teams. The Atlanta Hawks getting Bradley Beal and Ish Smith for John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, Dwayne Dedman, and a 2021 first round pick. For the Hawks, I mean, yeah, they're playing in the East, so I guess they're trying to make the playoffs. Get another bona fide star along with Trae Young. That's a bad defensive backcourt. You're going to give up a lot of points. But that's probably a top 3 scoring backcourt, one with Portland's Damon CJ and Stephen Clay. But at least you got Clint Capella back there, but that's not a hell of a lot. But for the Wizards, I'm doing that. I mean, you've already seen with Bradley Beal being the number 1 option, you suck. So you might as well try and get something for him. And they've already proven in years past that him and Bradley Beal and John Wall have reached their ceiling. So you might as well try and get something for him. I mean, why not? You get 3 young talents there. Dwayne Dedman could fill in the center role there. I'd do that if I'm Washington. That's a bad trade if I'm Atlanta, to be honest, giving up way too much depth. So the next one, what have we got? The Detroit Pistons receiving Melvin Frazier. Who even is Melvin Frazier? No offense, Melvin Frazier. And the number 15 pick for D Rose. I feel like you can get a lot more for D Rose than Melvin Frazier and the number 15th pick. I mean, he's still got a year left on his contract at $7.5 million. You could probably scrape a lot more out of a contending team wanting to use him off the bench or as in a starting role on a championship team like the Lakers or the Clippers. You know, even for the Warriors, backing up Steph Curry. I mean, the number 15th pick, but who's that going to turn out to be? Who knows? So that's probably give that like a D. Nothing there too extravagant. For the Knicks, they're receiving Enes Kanter, Romeo Langford, number 14 pick, and the number 30 pick for Taj Gibson, and the number 8 pick. Hell yeah, I'm doing that if I'm the Knicks. Get a good young prospect in Romeo Langford. Buy out Enes Kanter. You don't need him. He's already played there before. Didn't do much for him. You might as well get rid of him. You don't want him taking minutes off Mitchell Robinson. So you get a good young pick, Romeo Langford. You get the number 14th pick, so which could be who knows in this draft because it's not exactly heavy with talent. Well, there is talent, but it's not exactly Ja Morant or Zion Williamson talent. And the real thing I see coming out of that draft is Anthony Edwards. And for the Boston Celtics, you received 36-year-old Taj Gibson and the number 8 pick. Again, not much difference between the 8 and the number 14 pick, so I'm not doing that if I'm Boston, giving up depth and picks for 36-year-old Taj Gibson, which wouldn't see an ounce of minute. Anyway, when you've got young guns on the Boston Celtics and Grant Williams, Daniel Tice, who's the other one? You know, that other big guy that did stuff in the playoffs for the Boston Celtics. Can't remember his name. Grant Williams, that's it. So you don't need Taj Gibson. That's a bad trade. For the Wizards, received Steven Adams and the number 53 pick for Thomas Bryant, Jerome Robinson, Wagner, and Ish Smith. I mean, that depends if the Wizards want to go in on Bradley Beal, John Wall, and Steven Adams as your quote-unquote big three to try and make the playoffs again, but you don't know what John Wall's going to be like, even though he's looked good in his practice videos that he's come back from. I don't know, it depends if that's what you want to go, but you're giving up that's a big cap. Steven Adams, I think, still owed $50 million or something. And for the Thunder, you're going to have to go into a rebuild anyway. You know they're going to try and trade Chris Paul. Schroeder's probably going to walk. Gallo's probably going to walk. I mean, you could do a lot worse for Steven Adams, but there's nothing really there out of those 4 players that you can say can build around to go around with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So, I mean, it's like a meh trade. Does nothing for me. Doesn't move the needle. The Phoenix Suns receiving Jordan Poole and the number 2 pick for Kelly Oubre and the number 10 pick. I mean, you only just got Kelly Oubre and you're going to get rid of him already. The number 2 pick, like you're going to draft a younger player to replace him in like Denny, or you're going to go point guard and go LaMelo Ball, but that's a headache on its own. I mean, me personally, I believe LaMelo's all hype. The whole family's all hype, to be honest. They're just average basketball players. I mean, if they weren't publicized all over the media, would they honestly go number 2, Alonzo, and this high for LaMelo? I mean, there'd probably be a middle pick. Everyone knows De'Aaron Fox should have been picked for the Lakers above Lonzo Ball, and the same goes for LaMelo. Number 2 pick for a LaMelo Ball, probably not worth it. But, and then for the Warriors, I'm doing that if I'm Kelly Oubre. Then I try and package Wiggins and maybe Green into something else and keep Kelly Oubre as your small forward. Okay, on to the next one. We've got the Spurs receiving Aaron Gordon, Al-Farouq Amino, and the number 15th pick for DeMar DeRozan and Patty Mills. And the Spurs really don't want DeMar DeRozan, which I don't blame him. He's not Toronto Raptor DeMar DeRozan, and you'd get a pretty young player in Aaron Gordon and the number 15th pick. But again, that's not going to get you back to the playoffs, not with the West being so low. You're going to have Golden State coming back next year. I mean, Memphis is on the rise. Same with the Pelicans. They're on the rise. So not really worth it. But yeah, I'm probably not doing that. It's good to get off DeMar DeRozan's contract, but doesn't really move the needle for the Spurs to try and get back into the playoffs. You might also try and find something, go younger. Trade DeMar DeRozan, trade Aldridge, see what you can get back for them. Next one, Sacramento Kings received Victor Oladipo and Miles Turner for Buddy Hield, Bielitsa, and the number 12 pick. For the Kings, that's an excellent trade. Get out of Buddy Hield's headache, him wanting to start, him getting that $94 million contract. But you're giving up some shooting in Bielitsa. But you're getting a more rounded team with Miles Turner at the 5, Bagley at the 4, and you got team him up with Victor Oladipo, Darren Fox, and Bogdan. For the Pacers, you're giving up a lot. They're just for the Buddy Hield and Bielitsa and the number 12 pick, which could be anything in this year's draft. So for the Pacers, hell no, I'm not doing that. You could trade Oladipo and Turner separately and get better trade offers instead of that. All right, we've got next the Pelicans receiving Gary Harris, Bol Bol, Bates Motel, and the number 22 pick for Drew Holiday. I feel like that's a good trade for both teams, actually. They both get something that they're looking for. Pelicans get some more shooting in Gary Harris. JJ Redick's getting up there. And they get Bol Bol, who could be a good center. Just puts on a bit of muscle. And he can shoot the ball. We've seen he can shoot the ball. So he can space the floor for Zion. And Bates Motel, I don't know, release him. And for the Denver Nuggets, they get Drew Holiday, which is a good defensive backcourt to go along with Jamal Murray. Don't have to give up Michael Porter. So you've got a good young core there with Porter, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and a good young veteran who would have been handy in the playoffs. This playoffs just been. So I feel like it's a good trade for both teams. Memphis Grizzlies receive Romeo Langford, Carson Edwards, Enes Kanter, Vinnie Mac, and the number 26 pick for Jonas Valanciunas. Probably not doing that if I'm Memphis, if I'm being honest. Jonas was a good pickup for them. Really held down the fort, especially when Jaren Jackson went down injured. Probably would have made the playoffs if it wasn't for the pandemic stopping everything. They easily would have been at Portland, who didn't have enough games to make it with all those injuries, but because they had the 4-month layoff, had enough time for Yusuf Nurkic to come back, Collins to come back for his one game. So I feel like the Grizzlies would have made it into the playoffs if it wasn't for that. So, and Jonas was a big part of that. So I wouldn't give up on him just for those young parts. Not worth it. For the Celtics, probably wouldn't do it either. You've got young talent in Grant Williams in there. Nah, not worth it for me. I'd rather stay younger, more athletic at the center position. I mean, Daniel Tice did an all right job. You've got Grant Williams in there as well. So, nah, bad trade for me. And that's it from this report. All right. See, my cat's joined the video. All right, this was my first video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe. Let's try and get this channel to grow. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.